Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Sayyidina Muhammadin ashrafil mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Amma ba'd. So tonight we are going to conclude our Irab and Sarf of Ayah 35 with some of the translations based on the different Irab that we can do. Yes, so our main focus is here, ma amilat hu. Yeah, ma amilat hu, because there are various ways we can look at the Irab of ma. Okay, that's the why the focus is on this. Okay, the first translation is, this was the Irab that was given by Sister Radin at the last class. When she said ma, she said it's half nafi. Okay, so when ma is half nafi, a negation, the translation would be something like this. So that they eat its fruits, yes, samarihi, while their hands did not make all this. Yeah, while their hands, aidihim, did not make all this. Yeah, amilat hu. Amilat hu. Now let's have a look at Ain Mim Lam for a while. Yes, yeah, as you see. Amila ya'amalu, yes, the Sarf, and then is amal. Amal is your masdar, yeah. So when you translate it, you're looking at something like work or labor or action, something that you're doing, okay. So I've chosen to use make in this case, yeah. Instead of work or something, I chose to use the word make, while the hands did not make all of this. Yeah, so this is one translation when ma is nafi. There are three other options for ma. Yeah, there are three other options for ma. The second one is if we take ma as isim mausul. So when we do that, what happens really? Remember, when you have an isim mausul and it's sila, you're basically creating what we call a compound or complex isim. That means this together is actually like one word. Yeah, ma imal amma amilathu. Although this is a fi'il, we can take it to be like one word, right? So you either replace this whole thing with a word that means that what their hands have cultivated, okay, or you just say what their hands have cultivated. Okay, that means you're still using the fi'il, yeah, and you're using the what, which is basically what ma is always translated to, yeah, if it is not a no, yeah. So it's either a no or a what, or whatever, or whichever, or which, yeah, these are the normal translations for ma, yeah, but here I just leave it as that, what their hands have cultivated, yeah. So basically it's actually one thing, just one thing, what their hands cultivated, okay. So this is the second translation based on ma as isim mausul. Then the grammarians also said, right, we can look at ma as instead of a special isim mausul in this case, like any isim, like any word that's an isim. Okay, that's what they're saying here. So they said treat it as nakirah mausufa. Yes, that means something, an entity that is common, nakirah. So you know that when we have a sentence after a nakirah word, it is sifah. Yes, so this is how they look at it. As far as translation is concerned, it's almost the same thing, what their hands have cultivated, because you're describing what, what their hands have cultivated. So translation, not much difference. It's just the way you look at it. You're looking at the same thing, but you're explaining it in a different way. So they're not looking at it as an isim mausul with sila, but they're looking at it as a mausul sifa. Yeah, that's what they're doing. Then the last one is, of course, ma as masdari. Yes, and we talked about this in length, what it was, ma masdari. And we explained that you can see the word ma plus the fi'il as the masdar. And we call this masdar mu'awwal. Yeah, masdar mu'awwal actually is what we call the interpreted masdar. This is the what we see an and fi'il as the masdar. Yes, this is how we see it, or how we explain it, or how we interpret it. Okay, so that's why it's called masdar mu'awwal. Yeah, so we can replace an or ma in this case, yeah, ma and the fi'il with a masdar, the masdar of that fi'il. Okay, so yes, this one I just gave some sarf here so that you know what are the various words that the grammarians use in this sort of situation. Yes, so masdar mu'awwal is actually your isim maf'ul of the verb awwala. Yeah, awwala with the root letters hamzah, waw, and lam. Yeah, so ta'wilan is actually the masdar, and this one is the isim maf'ul. Same kind of word, same kind of meaning. Root letters fa, sin, ra. This one you know this very well. Yes, tafsir. You have the mufassirun and the mufassarun. Yeah. So this is also family too. Fassara, yufassiru, tafsiran. Same meaning. Yeah, but more of an explanation. We use the word ta'wil historically. Ta'wil was used first before we even used tafsir. Yep. Why? Because in Nabi's time, during Nabi Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam time, there were no other language but Arab. You know, the Quran came down in Arabic, and at that point in time, when Islam was just beginning, we didn't have foreigners who didn't speak Arab. Okay, so when they looked at the Quran, they're thinking of ta'wil and tafsir. Yes, they don't think about the next word I'm going to show you, which is from two ways we can look at it, from either from ra, jim, mim, or a quadrilateral word with four root letters. Yeah, ta, ra, jim, mim. Yes, both means to translate. This only came later on when we had people who were not Arabs coming into Islam. Yeah, so this is where this one comes in. And then ta'wil will more or less took a back seat and tafsir came into the foreplay, yeah, as time went on. But just for you to be aware of what are the terms that we normally use. Okay, so back to the translation again. So now we see ma and the fi'il as a masdar. So my translation for that was this. Yeah, so that they may eat of its fruit and from the labor of their hands. Okay, from the labor, what their hands produced, basically. Yeah, because we are looking at the masdar of amal again, amila. Yeah, we're still looking at the masdar of amila. So I can think of labor. Remember, I showed you just now that this was the masdar, and it means the best word I thought was labor. Yeah, or the produce, maybe produce here in terms of noun, not produce in terms of verb. Yes, so it's like a product you want to say, but since we're talking about fruits, I use the term produce instead of products. Okay, so that's all that I need to say about ayah 35. Do you have any questions here? Clear, inshallah? Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay, so now I'm going to go into revision. Yes, because this is our last class for the year, and I thought it'd be good to do revision on some of the things that we did. So, inshallah, I hope we have the time to cover two things, the Nahu aspect as well as our Balaghah aspect. Yes, so this would be good. I will start with Nahu first because this is easier, and as we progress throughout the night, your mind might not be so clear anymore. So I just want to go through what is clear and easy first, and then we go on to the more difficult one. Yeah, the more difficult revision. So let me start this, inshallah. Okay, so we just want to do grammatical analysis in a brief because some of you are still having problems understanding what this is all about. So I'll just go through this again. Yeah. So we know, of course, the three types of words. Everyone's familiar with this already. Yeah, no problems here. The isim. Okay. As you can see, isim, they can exist in three different status. And sometimes you cannot see the status because the word is it's built in such a way that you can't see it. All right. So you have talibatun, you know, this is rafa. Kitaban, this is nasab. Rijalin, this is majrur. And isa, which can be anything, any rafa, nasab, or ja, yeah? Because you can't tell unless you see what's before it and what's after it, and where is it in the word, what's the function it has in that, in the sentence. Yeah. So these are the normal forms that you will see in isim. Okay, and there are some isms that only exist in you can that can in rafa, yes, and jar, no, in nasab, yeah, uh, mamnun min al-sarf, basically. It cannot exist with a kasrah and it cannot exist with a tanween. Yeah, so that's another form where you have to be careful. Yeah, we have to be careful because you won't see it in majrur form, but it can be ja. Then we have fi'il. Fi'il kataba, this is fi'il madin, always ending with a fatha. Yazhabu, this is fi'il mudari. Yes, when it is rafa, it ends with a dhamma, usually. Tazhaba, when it is mansub, with a fatha, and when it is majzoom, it will be with a sukun. Yes, this is actually a command I'm looking at, iqra, yes, which is amar. Then we have halves. We have many types of halves. Min, which is a half of ja. Lam, which does jazm. Lan, which makes your fi'il mansub. Hal, which is a question word. Wow, it's atifa. Bal is idrab, yes, meaning that it tells you what's before it. It's kind of like negates what's before it and tells you what it feels that it should be. Okay, so that is idrab, and so many other types of halves. Yes, we can do a whole course on halves. That's how that's how complex halves can be. Yes, and that's how useful halves is in the language. Okay, now let's look at the type of Irab that these different words would have. Yeah. So we see here. Now I want you to know. Okay. Um. I want you to know that there are two types or two categories of i'rab when we look at a word. Yes, what we call mu'arab and mabni. Okay, mu'arab and mabni. And when we do i'rab, what we do is we look at the end of the word. Always we look at the end of the word, regardless of whether it is an isim, a fi'il, or a harf. End of the word, the last letter you find in the word. That's where you look and identify the status of your word. Okay. Now, for an isim, when it's mu'rab, it can be two types. Remember, I showed you what was the word I used? Kitaban, yeah, talibatun, and then I had the majrun was rijalin, and then of course the one that was Isa. Yeah? So Isa is the takdiri. Yeah, when you don't know what the status is because the ending of the word does not change. Okay, but then how is that different from mabni? Okay, this is where people normally get confused. How is that different from mabni? It's still mu'rab, yeah, because like I said, the three states are there, but because of the letter ending, you can't see it. Okay, so the key word here is to understand that because of the end letter, you cannot see the i'rab. Yeah, because of the end letter. In this case, it was alif maksura, right? So alif kind of kill everything, so you can't see it. All right, but with mabni, I'm not saying because of the end of the letter that it is mabni. Yes, this is something that you need to really ingrain in your mind. Yeah, mabni means it's always that form. Not because of the letter, but because it's always that way. It's spelled that way. And whatever you do to it, you can't change it. Okay, so that's mabni. That's mabni. Yeah, not because of how, what the root letters were, for example. Yeah, but because you don't see it in any other way. You don't see it in any other way. Yeah, because there are some words that end with ya that can be muqaddara or takdiri in some states, and mu'rab, zahira lafzi, yeah, in other states. But no, not with mabni. No way. Yeah. So these are the words that you see that are normally mabni. Yeah, your dama'ir, your domis, your isim ishara, yes, your isim mausus, your isim istisham, your isim shart, yeah, like man, for example. Yeah, it's always that way. Yeah. So this ilah means etc. If you're wondering what that is. Yeah. So there are others. There are others. Okay. There's things like called isim fi'il, for example, which I didn't mention here, but I've already mentioned this in our previous classes. Okay. So previous classes. So any questions there? All right. No? Okay, good. So fi'il, same thing. And the fi'il is mabni when it is madin, you know that, when it's amr, and certain mudari's. Yeah, certain mudari's. You do know that fi'il mudari' as a generality, you can put it in three states. Yeah, marfu, mansub, and majzum. Yeah, and take note, fi'il can never be majrur, isim can never be majzum. Yeah, so that's the difference between these two in that sense, in terms of i'rab. So the time when fi'il mudari'un is mabni is when you have a nun tawkid attached to it. It always comes with nun shadda at the end when it's nun tawkid, or when you have nun niswa. This is why when you look at the women, remember when we learned in Bayina, when you look at all the women for the fi'il mudari'un, majzum, mansub, marfu, same. Okay, three status, same, because they have a nun niswa stuck to it. Okay, so this is the other thing for fi'il. Here half, mabni for all the hurufs, because they always come in that form. Lan, yeah, lam, yeah, fi, yeah, ala, hatta, always written that way. Don't see it in any other form. Yeah, so that's why we say it's mabniun. It's built like that. Okay, mabniun. Then we look now at what we call the signs. When you look at the ends, okay, how do you know this is rafat, nasab, or jar? Yeah, sorry, rafat, nasab, or jar. Okay, so we know that it's rafat when it's dhamma, nasab when it's fatah, jar when it's kasrah, and jazm when it is sukun. Okay, so this one covers both fi'il and isims. Both fi'il and isims. Okay, this is the original sign. Asliyah, original. Dhamma, fatha, kasra, sukun. But you can also have secondary signs, alternative signs you want to call it. Okay, when you have waw, alif, nun, ya, and also fatha and also kasra. How is this? Yeah. So when this occurs, you will always say it is marfu because of the sign of the waw. We see the waw, yeah, which is niyabatan an, in place of, usually waw signify rafa. Okay, usually waw signifies rafa. So we say that this is marfu with the sign of waw, but in the place of dhamma. Yeah, that's what niyabatan an means. And we have this in our Irab for the ones that are secondary signs. Okay, so we also have this. Okay, take note of this. I'll show you an example of this later. Now, oh, what's this? Now, this is a very important chart. Okay, this is a very important chart. So that my hope is that it will help you understand what I mean by alternative signs or secondary signs of the different status. Okay, so now why do we have these other signs? When do we have these other signs? And not why, more like when do we have? So there are 7 categories when this occur. When we have the Asma'ul Khamsa, the 5 isims, you remember these 5 isims? Yes. Do you remember, Hazim, what are the 5 isims that I'm looking at here? Apart from Zu, Za, and Zi, can you remember?
Ooh, yeah. Um, and not really, not really.
Can you
Abu
remember?
Akhun,
Sorry?
Abu Akhun.
Oh, yes. Yeah, so we are talking about father, brother, yes, mouth, fu, fa, fi, yeah, when they are
Hufa,
mudaf.
Ji.
Yeah, so that's just how it is. Alhamdulillah. So when you have this Asma'ul Hamsa, then you don't talk about Dhamma, Fatha, and Kasra anymore. You talk about Waw, Alif, and Ya. Yeah? Zu, Za, Zi. So this is why we say it is marfu bil waw niyabatan an at-Dhamma. Why? لأنه أسماء hamsa. Okay, because it's one of the 5 isms, the special isms. Then of course it's musanna. When we are dual, you know that it's muslimani, muslimaini, muslimaini. We are not talking about muslimun, muslimin, musliman anymore, right? Musliman, muslimin anymore. It is ani, aini, aini. So this is why now the sign is alif, ya, and ya. Yeah, alif, ya, and ya. So this is where you get your secondary sign. Then we talk about the sound masculine plural. Yeah, jam'u muzakkar salim. So this case as well, muslimuna, muslimina, muslimina. You don't have muslimun, musliman, muslimin anymore. Now, this is waw, not alif, because it's not dual. So it's ya and ya. These 2 signs are the same. Yeah, don't worry about that. Yeah, as long as you say the correct signs, you're good because you know the actual word. You're doing the Irab for the word, so you can't get the 2 mixed up. You know this is dual, this is plural, so don't have to worry about that. This is just the Irab that you're doing. Yeah, you know the word. Then there's the mu'annas. Mu'annas, you know it is atun, atin, atin. We go back to the original, except that for nasab, it's still kasra. Yes, for nasab, it's still kasra. So you saw that one just now. Remember, we had this, and then we had this fathah kasra, and suddenly we have niabatan an here. Yeah, because it is niabatan an for this case. Yeah, for the case of the ladies. Hmm? So that's why you still have kasra here. Yeah. Then we have that strange case that I said, the mamnun min al-saf, the words that cannot take tanween and the words that cannot take kasra. Yeah, so they are always dhamma, fatha, fatha, even though they are majrur. Yeah, so this is like Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahima. Then we have a whole list of isms that's like this. Yeah, one of them means if when it's a name and it's foreign, this is what happens. Yes, the name Ibrahim is not Arabic, and that's why it is Ibrahimu, Ibrahima, Ibrahima. Yeah, but this one you can also go back to the notes that you've done before. Then you have af'ala hamsa. Oh, what's this? Af'ala hamsa. Okay, let me show you. Comes about because we have these una, ani, 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 ina, una. So if we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Why do they say 5? Okay, because this is identical. Tansurani, tansurani, tansurani. Yeah. So you more or less take off 2, and that's why you're left with 5. Yes. So when we talk about af'ala hamsa, it means the form. Yeah, the una, the ani, with the ya, the ani, with the ta, and then we have the una again with the ta, and we have the ya with the ta. Yeah, because it signifies whether it is third person, second person. That's why we have the difference in ta and ya. Yeah, but the alif and the waw and the ya means different things depending on whether you're looking at second person feminine or second person, second pair, second person pair, yeah, that's masculine, and second person plural, that is masculine, yeah. So effectively, you only have 5 patterns. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so that's how we get the 5. Then we have the last one, which is the tricky bit. Yeah, this one is when your root letters have a weak letter at the end. So take an example, yeah, put here the example here, Yardo. So this case, yes, Yardo, what are the root letters for Yardo?
Ra, Da, Ya.
Mm -hmm. Rodaya. I have Alif here, okay, this is Alif Maksura, and tukaddaru ad-dhamma, tukaddaru al-fatha, yuhzaful ilah. Yeah. So these are the 3 cases when it is rafa, nasab, and majzum. Yeah. Rafa, marfu, mansub, and majzum. Yeah. The rafa nasab is for isims. Yeah. So anyway, in this case, you can't see the dhamma, both. Yeah, you can't see the dhamma. Although it sounds as if it is a fatha, it's not the fatha that we're looking at. Yeah, because the sound jar or do is caused by the existence of that alif. Yeah, and here we just drop the alif. We just chop off the alif. Yeah, and in this case, when the root letters is mim, shin, and ya, this is to walk. Yeah, then you can see it for the ya. Now, ya is not a complete like the alif. Alif is like the same. And when you make it majzoom, you drop the half ilah. But here, it's actually visible. You can, this is what we call lafzi. Yeah, you can see it. You can pronounce it damshiya. So this is the normal fatha for mansub. Here again, yamshi, we just drop the half ilah. Here we can't see, this is tuqaddar, yeah, because of the ya. Yeah, because of the root letter ya, you cannot see the dhamma that you would normally have for a fi'il that is marfu. And then with the ya, with waw, we have yadu'u, yadu'uwa, yadu'u. Yeah, this is same. You just drop the half ilah. Yeah. Here again is tuqaddar, yeah, because you cannot put the, how do you say, the dhamma where it is supposed to be. Yeah, because there is some changes that happens in Sarf, yeah, that makes it yadu'u. It's not yadu'u, yeah, it's yadu'u, just for smoothness. But in case of the mansub, it is yadu'uwa, yeah, yadu'uwa. So only alif, these two are identical, and with the majzoom, you drop it. Okay, so this is all the cases by which we use the secondary sign and not the original sign. Alhamdulillah. So this is Alif Masura. But you're right, it is actually raw dal. Yeah. Okay, then I've included here, why I've included these here, yeah, because I want to remind you of what is mustatir and what fa'ils that can be seen and what fa'ils are hidden, and whether it is mustatir jawazan or mustatir wujuban. Okay. Now let's look at the madi. at the Madi. I think Fimia Amma, once you understand this too, we don't really need to go through this. Yeah, you can pick it up already. So here, when we say the fa'il is mustatir, we mean that the fa'il is hidden. You cannot see it. Meaning when you do the Irab, you're not going to say things like it's alif or it's waw. Because you can see alif, you can see waw. Yeah? So in the case of Madi, the only one where you cannot see the fa'il, yeah, where it's not an alif or an alif or a waw, yeah, is huwa and hiya. Huwa and hiya. This ta and this ta is not the same. This is ta ta'nis. It tells you that this is feminine. This ta is actually a doer. It's what we call ta fa'il. Yeah. So these two, I repeat, are the only ones for Madi that is mustatir. You cannot say whether it's alif, ta, or waw. Yeah. You got that? And both of them, yeah, third person, singular, both of them are jawazan, meaning you can have an outside doer. You can have an outside doer. Okay, then we go to mudari. Mudari, again, we have the normal alif, waw that are your fa'ils. Yes, but, and you have your nun niswah. Yeah, this is what we were talking about, the nun niswah just now. Sorry, yes, the nun niswah, nun niswah. Yeah, but there are three other, apart from the huwa and here, three other fa'ils that are mustatir. Which are the other three? Which are the other three?
يفعلوا نف تفعلوا نفعلوا أفعلوا.
Okay.
Second person and first person.
This two and this two, is it? You're saying?
Yeah.
There's one more. There should be five altogether. Huwa, here, correct. Ana, nahnu, one more.
أنت.
Yes, perfect. Okay. So again, huwa, here, anta, ana, nahnu.
نحن.
Only these two, again, only these two you can have an outside doer, jawazan. The other three, wujuban, they must stay in the verb. There's no way no another person can come in and say that I'm the doer. They are the ones there. Yeah, so it's wujuban is always hidden. Tansuru, ansuru, nansuru. Yeah, these three plus these two, so five. That is mustatir. Okay, so that's the
The
fa'il part.
mustatir is inside.
Yes, mustatir is hidden, you can't see it. It's not represented by any letter like the others. Like the others, this one represented by alif, this is represented by waw, yeah. Then we had something represented by ta, yeah, and nun, nun niswah. This is all fa'ils.
Okay, got it.
Okay, but the others, there's nothing there. Yeah, there's nothing there. You cannot see the hamzah. That's not the doer. Okay, you cannot see the nun either. That's not the doer either. Yeah. So okay, alhamdulillah. So now, can a sentence have Irab? Now, this one, whenever I say this, people get mixed up. I'm not saying that can you do grammatical analysis for a sentence. Yep, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying here is, can a sentence, a whole sentence, have status? Okay, this is what I'm saying. Can a whole sentence have status? The answer is yes. We've been doing this, but we've never said it. So I thought it would be a good idea for us to say this, okay? So a sentence or a pseudo sentence, remember what is a pseudo sentence? That day we did was shubhu jumla. Yes, something that was similar to a sentence. Now, actually, a shibhu jumla, if you take it out from the sentence will still be intact. Yeah, the sentence will still make sense. That means it will still have mubtada, it will still have khabar. You still have fi'il, you still have fa'il. Yeah. So pseudo sentence is your jawa majrur and your mudaf ilay with a zaf as a mudaf. Yeah. So you can take it out of the sentence still makes sense. Just less information. That's all. Okay. So a sentence or pseudo sentence is allowed to have status when the entire sentence, the whole sentence, or the pseudo sentence behaves like an isim or a fi'il. Makes sense, right? You can do Irab for a fi'il, you can do Irab on isim. So if the sentence behaves like that, then it can have an Irab. Okay, let's see the examples. Yeah. Of course, in this case, when you do the Irab, you will say fi mahali. Yeah, fi mahali. So it will be like fi mahal. Oh, sorry, that should be mahali. Rafa, nasab, jar, or jazm. Yeah, because if it's a fi'il, then it can be jazm. Okay, see the example here that I have. Khalaqallahu samawat. Yes, so basically Allah made the skies. Samawat, this one are examples of the, how do you say, the Irab that departs from the asli thing. Yeah. The example on the sentence journal will be the last one. You have a look. I just want to show you al-kasrah niyabatan an, so that you know how to make the Irab the next time. Niyabatan an nil, because these are two sukuns that meet, so there is kasrah here. So inna masala Isa indallahi kamasali Adama. Yeah, so the case of Isa being born is similar to the case of Adam being born. Yeah, Adam came from no parents. So Isa, same thing, but at least Isa had a mother. Yeah, alhamdulillah. So Isa here is supposed to be majrur, but we can't see because of the alif. Yeah, so we say that it is muqaddara. It is mu'rab because it doesn't fall under the categories of the mabni isms. Remember, the mabni isms was a whole list. The dama'ir, the isim mawsul, yeah, isim ishara. Yes, that's what we said. These were all the mabnis. So if they're not on the list of the mabniyats, then it's muqaddara. Yeah, it's muqaddara. So it's muqaddara on what? On alif. Alif made it difficult, or in this case impossible, to take on your kasrah. Yeah, alif made it impossible for it to take on a kasrah. So that's why we say it's muqaddara. It's muqaddara and not mabni, because Isa is not mabni. It's another foreign name. Here is where we see our jumlah. Yeah, man yudlilillahu fala hadiya lahu. Man here is isim shart. Yeah, isim shart. Yudlillah, actually there is a sukun here, but because two sukuns met, it's now kasra. So this is actually majzoom, lightest because of man. And man is one of those isim sharts that affect two fi'ils by right. Two fi'ils by right. But we only see one fi'il here, yudlil. Yeah. So there's something here that is behaving like the second fi'il, which is your jawabu shart. Yeah, which is your jawabu shart. So this is where we say, so this is your fi'il shart. Yeah, your yudlil. Yeah, the condition. And here it explains it is sukun and the harakat is with kasrah because of the meeting of two sukuns. Yeah. Sorry, it's kasrah because of the meeting of two sukuns. Yes. And the fa'il is normal. Yes, marfu, but a little ta'zim because we're talking about lafzul jalalah. And then we say the jumla, this one. Yes, because fa here is a special half that is fa rabita. It indicates a jawab. Yeah. Hello, it says there's a jawab here. Yeah, so la hadiya lahu is your jawab rushad jazm. Muqtarin bil fa is because of the fa. Yeah, it's just beside the fa. This fa indicates it. Rabita means indicates it. Yeah. Fi mahali jazm, because it would have been another majzum fi'il if it had been one word. One fi'il. Yeah, one word that is a fi'il. Yeah, because as I said, man affects two, it makes two fi'ils one after another jazm. If you're still not too sure about what I'm saying, um, let me know and I can share you some notes on this. Yeah. Okay, because we need to do something else too, and we have about 15 minutes left. So that's all I'm going to say about Irab. Do you have any questions on Irab?
No.
Okay. Thank you, Brother Hazim. Alhamdulillah. It's just a matter of remembering, right? Once you remember, you can remember it all the time. So I put it here because these are the ones that normally that you tend to forget. Okay, now I want to go to the ma'ani that we did all this time throughout the 35 ayahs that I did. There were some things that I went through, yeah, for ma'ani. So I'm just going to do a quick run over it. Now I'm not sure what happened to my slide this time. It seems to have gone a bit nuts with the animation, but parts of a sentence, yes. Types of sentences under ma'ani, okay. This is under balagha. So when I say mausuf in balagha, it's not the same mausuf as when I say in nahu. Things like this you need to be aware of. Yeah. Joining of sentences, remember fasl, wasl. Yeah. So this is disconnect, this is connect. And you normally connect with the ataf, wow. Then creating restriction, kasr, that we did as well. Yeah. And sentence order, takdim, takhir, remember. We have not done ma'rifah nafira. We haven't done this. Itna musawah, ijaz. Yeah. But ijaz, in a way, has things like when we mention something and when we omit something. Yeah. Because ijaz is to shorten. So that's why we have the mentioning and maskur and mazhur, mazhuf. Yes, mazhuf. I think. What am I saying? Mahzuf. Yeah, mahzuf. Yeah, is under ijaz. Yeah, because it controls the length of the speech. And then there are a few other rules that we need to know about ma'ani before we can go on to the other sciences of balagha. Yeah. So this again, I've just put it here. Zikru has, so this one actually comes under ijaz. And let's look at parts of a sentence. Remember this. Don't know whether you remember this. See, it comes on like that. Musnad ilayh, musnad, and quyud. Anyone remember what these are?
I don't.
You don't remember. We did this quite some time back. Okay. Fa'il, mubtada, musnad ilayh. Musnad, fi'il, khabar. Okay. This is already answering your question. Musnad ilayh is what you're talking about. Okay. Musnad ilayh is what you're talking about. Musnad is what you're saying about this musnad ilayh. Yeah, so that's why fi'il, the action that the fa'il did, khabar, the information about mubtada. Quyud is everything else. Everything else. Maf'ul bihi, maf'ul mutlaq, maf'ul lahu, maf'ul fihi, maf'ul ma'ah, hal, tamyiz. This one is when we do istisna, yes. And then nawasi, your half of nasb and all that. Yeah. Shad and nafi. Yeah. So everything else is quyud because this is like more information. More information. I have a slide on this later. So types of sentences in balagha. In balagha, we have jumla khabariyah and we have jumla insha'iyah. And I said this was a statement where you can say whether it's true or false. This is a statement that you can't say whether it's true or false. Yes? So, biasa, normal, ismiyah, fi'liyah. These are your habariyas. They are statements of something, either in the form of a verbal sentence or a nominal sentence. Jumla isha'iyah is something that you cannot say yes or no, I mean something true or false. Yeah. So this would be things like amar, sit, You can't tell the person, oh, that's true, or no, that's false. No, it's a command, sit. Okay. Nahi, yeah, when you forbid someone, don't sit. Okay. That's also insha, yeah. Istifham, when you ask a question, what are you doing? You know, you can't say, oh, that's true, that's false. No. And then tamani, taraji, and nida. Nida is calling. This is wishing. Yeah, this is wishing. Yeah, one is wishing for something that is possible. The other one is wishing something that is not possible.
Which
I
one
have
is wishing, sister?
which one is which one? I was afraid you're going to ask me that question. Actually, we covered this before. What do you think? What do you think? Is that Sister Deva with us or? We have a guest. I don't recognize the voice. I was wondering whether it is Sister Deva. No, no. Ah, another sister. Sorry. Tamani Taraji. What do you think? Shall we look up at the letters? Let's look up the dictionary. I have to come out of the slide thing for a while, yeah? Okay. Tamani. What are the root letters? Sorry. So this is Mim, Nun, and Wow. Wish, hope, and desire. And the other one was Taraji. Hope, expectation, request. So Tamani is the one that is impossible. Yeah? That's the one that is impossible. This one is something that you can expect to get. Okay? You can hope to get. But Tamani is the one that you can wish and desire for the moon to come down or whatever, but it's not going to happen. Yeah? You cannot reverse something. It's already done. Okay, inshallah. Yeah, let me start again. Slide. Yeah. So just remember this. What are the things? Yeah, between the two. Then we talk about joining sentences. Ataf, wasl, fasl. Similar in construction and breaks down to the same sentence. Difference in intention. Habar, insha'a. Habar, insha'a. When the sentence are the same. Yeah, in terms of what it does. And then we have disconnection that's complete. Badal, bayan, and tawkid. Remember, I will show you examples of this. And when the connection is, there is no connection, basically. So meaning do not match, sentence differ. Yeah. And then there's something in between. Usually when the second question answers, the second sentence answers the first part of the sentence. Yeah. So complete, there's a complete connection in meaning. There is cut off completely. And here there is some connection or some form of connection. Okay. All right. All right. Oh, sorry. I switched it off by accident. So the first example here, yeah, this is the case when it's insha, or habar and habar. Yeah. So in this case, you will connect it together. Have we not made the earth a resting place and the mountains as stakes? And we created you in pairs. Yeah. So this all goes back to have we not made. Yeah. When you have something that is ma'tuf, the ma'tuf ilahi is usually shared by the same ma'tuf. Yeah, the ma'tuf ilahi is usually shared. So in this case, have we not made the earth a resting place, or have we not made the mountains as sticks, have we not created you in pairs? Yeah. So that meaning is intact. And we're talking about, in this case, it is habar. Yeah, it is habar and habar, not insha'a, insha'a. Oh, it's a question, right? It's a question. So insha'a, insha'a, sorry. So that's one case of wasl. Sorry, I didn't animate that part. So in this case, when there is a complete difference in meaning, la, you have to have a wa here. If not, it will mean like la jazakallah khairan. That means you're asking God, Allah, not to reward someone with good. Yeah. So in order to avoid that, you have to put a wasl. You have to put a waw there. So in this case, la is your habaran, and here is a doa, right? It's a doa, so it's insha'a. It's insha'a. So that's the title there. And then if you want to combine sentences with similar grammatical construct, then can be broken down to the same sentence. Yes, this is something like that as well. Very similar to that just now, the first one that we saw. I want to highlight something. It's very similar to the one that we saw here, but if you see, right, we are not talking about the same thing. In this case, we're not talking about the same thing. Because here we're talking about the earth as a resting place. Then we talked about the mountains as sticks. Then we are saying about created you in pairs. But they're all connected by have we not. Yeah, have we not. So this is the slight difference between this number 1 and this number 3. This number 3, we're talking about things that we grow. Yes, things that we grow. So it has similar meaning. Whereas the other one, the meaning was not the same. Yeah, got that?
Yes.
Okay, so this is veggie, this is good, thank you. Now, fasal is when you disconnect. There is no wow. Why would we do this? For the 3 reasons that we said. Yeah, in this case, when it is emphasis. The second sentence is an affirmation of the first. Yeah, for example, in this case. So allow time for the disbelievers, leave them a while. Yeah, so meaning let them do what they want to do. Yeah, let them do what they want to do. And then basically, someone said to me once, give them enough rope to hang themselves, which is a horrible way of putting it, but that's basically what it is. Leave them. They want to do that, they want to disbelieve, fine. We leave them. Yeah, so this is like emphasizing the first one. Then we have bayan. Just to explain, we saw this before in Surah Yasin. Yes. So amma yatasaalun, what does that mean? What are they asking about one another? About the great news. So this explains the question. Then we have badal. When we talk about badal with sentences, it's not the same as badal as in mufrad cases. Yeah, when it's not a sentence. Yes, so this is talking about the same thing. Talking about Yawmul Qiyamah. That's why we say it's a badal. Yeah, so this day and this day are the same day. We just call it differently. We describe it differently. So this is badal for the jumlah. Not quite the same as badal for persons. Okay. Then we looked at creating restriction, kasar. Oh, this one is a bit, if this is the first time you're seeing this might be a bit difficult to understand. Yeah. So do ask me if you don't get it. So the first one, what is a kasar? It's a restriction, meaning that you're creating like a condition that only something else can meet. No, something can meet. Only that thing can meet. Okay. And there are 2 ways of looking at this. Quality, entity is what we like to, how do you say? These are the variables. Yeah? These are the variables. So we have something called kasa al-sifah, ala al-mawsuf and kasar al-mawsuf ala as-sifah. So what does this mean? We said restriction, kasar. Okay, restricting a quality to one entity. All right, so that means this quality only for this entity. La ilaha illallah. So uluhiyah or godship, we want to call it godship, right? We have restricted it to only Allah. Yeah, so this is sifah ala mawsuf. Here we are saying we are restricting an entity to one quality. Okay, this is different. Ma Muhammadun illa rasulun. So we are saying Muhammad is the messenger. Yeah, Muhammad is a messenger and only a messenger. Yeah, he's not God. He's only a messenger. So restricting this quality to Muhammad. In this case, we're restricting Muhammad to this quality. Yeah, and in this case, we're restricting the quality of Ilah to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay, so this is the difference between the two. Now we can also look at kasar from this other point of view, what we call hakiki or idafi. Hakiki or idafi. One, it's absolute, the other is relative. Here, what do you think? Is it absolute or idafi? La ilaha illallah.
Absolute.
Absolute, yeah, because Allah is Allah. There's nobody else but Allah. Yeah, so hakiki. Here we have an example of another absolute. This is about the river Nile, An-Nile, yeah, and we see that it is the river that waters Masir, Egypt. It's the only river that is in Egypt that they use for water and stuff like that. Yeah, so this Nile runs through Masir, and this is absolute. There's no other river in Egypt. Now, when we say something like this, La adila illa Umar, and we're restricting the quality of adil or justice to Umar, in this case, Umar al-Khattab radiallahu an. Yeah. So this is in a certain circumstances because there are other people who are also adil. Yeah. But during that time, during that era, he was known to be one of the most just. Yeah. So this is not absolute. This is idafi, relative to that time, to the people then. Yeah. Now we can also have this for this. But question, can an entity have only one quality? Can an
No.
entity? No, can. It's impossible. There's no way one entity can have one quality. An entity will have one. Like Brother Hazim, you probably have two eyes. That's one. Yeah. And you're probably tall, or that's two. You know, there's no way you can just be one. Yeah. So there's so many qualities to any entity. So this is why it can never be hakiki. Yes, you cannot do this. When you confine a mawsuf to a sifa, it will always be idafi. Yeah, because there will all be other things you can add. Other things, other qualities that you can add. So Muhammad is not only a Rasul, Muhammad is a father. He was a husband. Yeah. So he was a son. Yeah. He was a brother. So there were many other things that Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam was. Idafi, but this can be, yeah, like I said, it can be idafi, yeah, because you can add other qualities to it. Okay. So now it's very important to understand absolute and relative restriction. Yeah, because when you look at hakam in the Quran, you need to understand what's going on. So for example, you have this. إنما حرم عليكم الميتة والدم واللحم خنزير وما أهل به لغير الله. So we're talking about making something haram upon you. Yes, things that are dead. yeah, things that are dead, dead animals and stuff like that. Blood, yeah, and then the flesh of khinzir, and ukhilla, things that have, when you kill something with other than Allah's names, yeah. So this is what. So, but it says innama, only this was that. So if let's say you take this as an absolute restriction, then everything else is halal. Everything else is halal. The things that are not mentioned in this surah, everything else is halal. Well, the wine, yeah. What else that is not mentioned here that could be halal? That is actually haram. Yeah. So this is why you need to understand in this context it is relative. And it is relative because at this point in time, they were talking to the Quraysh of Makkah, yeah, and then they made certain things haram and certain things halal. Some things that goes against the laws of Allah. So Allah corrected them. No, 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 no. What I have forbidden you in terms of that is this, all of this. Okay, right? For that case. So it is relative. Again, like it was relative for when we said Abu Bakr, when we said that Umar al-Khattab radiallahu an is justice, yeah, is just. But in this case, hurimat, in this case is one of those restrictions that is done by a verb, yeah, because we are saying haram, hurimat. So this is actually a majhul. This is a majhul madi. Yeah, this is a majhul madi. And oops, sorry. This is a majhul madi. And it's about who you can marry. Who you can marry. So certain things like your mother, for example, you can't marry your mother, yeah? Like this. This is absolute. There's no other circumstances where you can marry your mother, or you can marry your daughter, or you can marry your sister, yeah? So this is with lisano, this restriction is absolute. No. Yeah, so for rulings in Quran, you need to understand this one, when it is absolute and when it's relative, and you need to see what are all the dalils in the Quran that indicates, this also is haram. Yeah, this is absolute. There's no other, no, how do you say, except for things that in the past, but even this is very strong. I mean, if let's say the case of you married two sisters, for example, this was forgiven. That can still be forgiven and accepted because it was in the past. It was before the ruling came down. But in terms of your mother and your sisters, this is it's just not ever possible. Yeah, so not ever possible. So that's the importance of doing that. So now this one, I just want to remind again what is musnad ilay, what is musnad, yeah, in the qaid, yeah, basically that. And about normal sentence order, I'm not going to go through tonight because we have run out of time, but I have given you the video link here, yeah, for you to see it again, yeah, for you to see it again, inshallah. So then it's easier. All right. Yeah. Yeah, so that's all for today. So any questions? If there's no questions, then we will retire for tonight, inshallah. Good, alhamdulillah. So, Brother Hazim, you happy today?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah. Okay then. Nothing, no awkward questions you can't answer yet. All right then. Subhanallah wa bihamdik. Nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta nastaghfiruka wa atubu ilaik. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Jazakallah khair. Kasih.
Okay, amin ya iyaki. Amin wa iyaka.